you've got something on Keyshawn George, right?
Yeah, really good start for him passing the ball. He's got 5 assists already, and that continues a trend of him being more of a playmaker lately, and I've got some numbers on that. So far, Keyshawn has run 97 pick and rolls this season as the ball handler, and that's the most for any Wizards rookie since they began tracking that stat in 2015. Now, John Wall was before 2015. If the data was available, I would imagine he ran more of them.
I would say so.
However, Keyshawn is on track to double the number of pick and rolls that Bilal Coulibaly had last season, and I think it just goes to show the confidence the Wizards have in Keyshawn George to initiate the offense as the lead guard.
Yes, we love having Chase Hughes as part of our broadcast. You read his very inventive, creative material on Monumental Sports Network, including he had a great story about Keyshawn George and Cody Toppert recently.
That's right. So Toppert is on the bench tonight, and I recently found out a wild connection he has to Keyshawn George. So Toppert recorded a YouTube workout video many years ago, and Keyshawn's father, Dion, happened to see it while they were living in Switzerland. And his dad was inspired by Cody's message, which was basically you have to work on your game every day, just like you take your daily vitamins. So Dion and Keyshawn ended up doing those drills in their driveway for years, from when Keyshawn was 12 to when he was 15. And not only did it help him get to the NBA, but of course he and Cody are now on the same team. And both Dion and Keyshawn said they couldn't believe it after he was drafted and they found out that Toppert was the head coach of the Summer League team.
That's
wow.
Cool.
What a connection. Dave Johnson, Glenn Cosmore, and Chase Hughes back with you. And you're talking Marcus Smart right now, Chase, right?
Yeah, guys, we've talked on the broadcast about Marcus Smart's ability to read plays from the opposing team. He gave me some insight on how he does it. So Smart says he pays very close attention to the other coach when he's telling his players what to do and where to go coming out of timeouts. And he said he can pick things up based on not only the communication from coach to players, but then between the players themselves when they are telling each other where to go. And as he says it, they will tell you what they're doing. Now, Glenn, you're a former player, a former scout. You see the game differently than most of us. Do you see what Smart's getting at there?
Yeah, I do. I do. You know, when you hear players talking, you know, in advance, they might be saying, all right, I'm coming up to set a screen, and it might be against, you know, advanced scouts look at plays. So it might be against what they normally do. So he's listening and anticipating.
We know him, we love him, we love reading him on Monumental Sports Network, and we love that he's part of the broadcast. Chase Hughes and Chase, Chris Middleton, he's back in the starting lineup tonight, and you've got some more on Chris Middleton.
Yeah, pretty amazing stat about him, and that is he only needed 10 games after being traded to the Wizards to lead the team this season in taking charges. He's taken 5 of them, which is one more than Tristan Vucevic, who's second on the team. Now, that's impressive in its own right, but I asked head coach Brian Keefe yesterday about it, and he had a great answer. He said that if an NBA champion, a 3-time All-Star, and Olympic gold medalist is putting his body on the line and doing the dirty work, then if you're a young player, what's your excuse? And Middleton, you know, he's 33 years old. He's battled injuries in recent years, but he's willing to make that sacrifice, and it sets a great example for the young guys.
Here we go with the fourth quarter, but before that, Chase Hughes taking charges as the Wizards take charge.
Yeah, Dave, I was telling you guys recently on the broadcast how Chris Middleton needed only 10 games to lead the Wizards in taking charges for the entire season. So I caught up with Chris recently in the locker room, and I asked him about how hard it is to take a charge in the NBA. He said it took him a while, a few years when he was a young player, just to kind of get the courage to do it, and as he put it, not wuss out. So I then asked him who the toughest NBA players are to take charges on. He said Zion, LeBron, and Giannis, which is not surprising, of course. Those are some of the biggest, strongest, most aggressive players in the league. And I'm guessing Paolo Banchero is not much further down that list. We're seeing him tonight, obviously. I don't think you want to take a charge on him either.
Those are freight train guys, Chase.
Exactly.
Martin misses the 3. Gill goes for the putback. There was no foul and knocked away. Good stuff as always from Chase Hughes. 3 quarters done. Magic on top, 102-71. Chase Hughes, what do you got about Tristan Vucevic? You know, he's having a great stretch.
Yeah, cool story about Tristan. So not many people know this, but he used to vacation with former NBA All-Star Peja Stojakovic. So Tristan's dad, Dusan, was a pro basketball player himself, and he spent a lot of time in Serbia, and he became really good friends with Peja, and Peja happens to have a son, Andre, who now plays at Cal and is close in age to Tristan. So the two families would vacation together when Tristan was a kid, and Andre and Peja actually went viral last week on social media because Peja was at the ACC tournament, and he was shown on TV, And I think it had a lot of people feeling their age when they found out that he has a son playing D1 college ball right now.
At California.
Exactly.
It's a Golden Bear. Is California in the ACC now?
They are, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Hey, Johnson, Glenn, Contour, and you back here along with Chase Hughes. And I know in your mind is Tristan Vukcevic, who we just saw get back on the court.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. So last summer, I interviewed Tristan right after he got drafted, and he told me that he grew up a big fan of both of the Gasol brothers, and he's had interactions with both of them. So in 2021, he was playing against Pau with Real Madrid, and he said he went up to Pau during the game and told him that he used to watch his highlights on YouTube, and Pau appreciated that. And then right after Tristan was drafted, Marc Gasol actually randomly called him to express to him that he really liked his game, and he offered some advice for his NBA career. So Tristan said he was pretty surprised at that, but of course he listened very carefully to what Marc Gasol had to say because both of those guys had great careers.
Johnson back with Glenn Consor and Chase Hughes. Alex Sarr, 8 points in the first quarter, 22 the other night, 20 the other night, 34 the other night. What can you add, Chase Hughes?
Yeah, he's obviously been on fire the past week on the offensive end, and one reason for that is he's doing a lot more damage in the paint. Now, he's also been making his threes, as we've seen tonight, which helps, of course. But over his last 4 games, he's averaging nearly twice as many paint touches as he did previously this season, about 7 per game compared to 4. And as a result of that approach, he's had 3 of his best 4 games in terms of paint points this season, all in the past 16 days. He shoots about 70% in the restricted area this year, so it's an efficient shot, and I think with the three-point shooting, it's added some balance to his game.
Yeah, I agree, Chase. And you know what? What we've seen him coming into the NBA, pick and pop player, right? Now, because Rashawn Holmes was the role player, now he's doing both.
And the one and only Chase Hughes has already booked his ticket for San Francisco. You did that before we got the news yesterday. Rising stars, Alex Sarr, who is a star, Bub Carrington, and Bilal Coulibaly. They'll be part of the All-Star weekend.
Don't forget Champagny.
And Justin Champagny.
That's right. Yeah, I booked my ticket. I just had a good feeling about it, you know. And the Wizards, of course, as you mentioned, have a franchise record, 3 representatives set to play in the Rising Stars game. And I caught up with all of them at today's shoot-around, and I found out how each of them found out the news. So Alex Sarr found out on Instagram. Bilal Coulibaly said he'd just gotten home from the flight yesterday. He got a FaceTime call from his agent who had his family already on the line. And Bub Carrington said he was on the phone with friends when his mom and his brother started texting him. And all 3 said it was an amazing moment finding out. And Bub said his mom has been crying quite a bit over the past 24 hours. Just a very proud accomplishment for these guys.
Great stuff, Chase. And I'd vote for Bub as the best way to find out other than Instagram. All right.